Welcome to But Make It Funny podcast, where we are unpacking life, love, loss, using the only thing that we know how to use is our humor. I'm your host, Zay.
And I'm your host, Yessie. And today we'll be discussing why being light skinned is not the flex that you think it is. Let's get into it. All right. What's up, Zay? How you feeling? What's going on today? What you drinking?
Okay, so I'm feeling okay. Um, I'm feeling a little bougie, so I'm drinking wine today, right? But then
Oh.
also I might take it there, so I'm gonna put a shot of tequila in it. One shot of vodka, cause
In the wine?
mm-hmm.
Oh, you playing dangerous today. Cause wine and liquor.
Yes. How you feeling? What you drinking?
I'm feeling good. Y'all already know I'm drinking my little cheap champagne.
I can tell because it still got the
Classy.
little orange tag on it.
I mean, what the fuck? Can I live? Can I live? Can I fucking live? Why y'all wanna fuck with me? Why?
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Oh, my bad, my bad. It look expensive, girl. It's the glass.
It
It's the
don't taste
glass.
expensive though. It's okay. I don't need it to taste expensive. I just need it to taste like I'm gonna be drunk after.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, so let's get it started. So we do not have a game this week because our current events. It is so much going on in the world. What the fuck is going on? We probably about to be in World War III. Also, like,
Like I'm getting ready to receive my draft letter. Like I'm ready. I'm putting on my boots. I'm sitting here. I'm ready to go and defend.
Somebody speaking another language. I don't speak that.
well, I ain't
I don't
defending
know. Never
nobody.
mind. Yeah.
if you ain't having fought for me, I ain't fighting for you. Y'all gonna have to find me. Y'all send me a draft letter. Just know it's gonna be returned to sender. This is like one thing that I'm really happy to be fat. Because if you're a little bit too overweight, they won't even draft you to the army. So to all my people who don't want to go, start eating. Start eating.
Period.
If you a little bit
Period.
too big, they're gonna be like, nah, no, thank you. So yes, let's get started with Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, so I don't know like too much of like the technical specifics, but long story short, Russia invaded Ukraine because they believe that the Ukrainian territory like belongs to them. And so they invaded Ukraine, and they're basically like letting Ukraine know like you either going to give us this territory or we're going to blow your shit up. So now like Ukraine people are fleeing, they getting ready for like they're getting ready for war basically. And so America is an ally to Ukraine. So the president of America, whatever his name is,
Big Daddy
um,
Biden. Big Daddy
he
Biden.
he's like basically like proposing sanctions. He put sanctions on like Russian banks because he got to defend Ukraine or whatever. But
Hmm.
if you remember when the other guy was president, like he was real buddy buddy with Russia and with Putin. So it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's given like first off, I'm like, okay, Russia want to start a war about some land that they say was theirs in like 1856, y'all. It was between that time, like 1856. They said Ukraine stole this land from them, and they want it back. Let's just none of these people were alive. Like none of these people were. Nobody was alive. Like, and now you want land back from your dead people. But then on top of that, I don't. Putin though, like that nigga was like, if y'all, he told America, he was like, if y'all want some of this shit, y'all can get some too, and I'm gonna beat y'all ass. Basically, that's what he said in his the conference video. Like, if y'all want some of this, I'm gonna beat y'all ass, and I'm gonna give y'all the hands like history never gave them to y'all before.
A bitch don't wanna see me. A bitch don't wanna see me. I'm really block on any block, hoe. Run up, bitch. Hoe. Come here. Come here. Come to my house. Come to my house. I bet you won't leave out, hoe. I bet you won't leave out. Any bitch that's my territory, bitch, you ain't going home, hoe. That's on trespassing, bitch.
So I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with Putin. He did used to be best friends with Donald Trump, but this is a conspiracy theorist in me, right?
Okay.
Donald Trump is running for president, right? Out of in the next year and a half. So why? So Putin is one of his close friends, and the South Korea president. They all three of them buddy buddy, right?
The
So
North
why
Korea?
North
The
Korea? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So why now he want to start a war because of this? You know what I'm saying? Like he want to start a war because of this, and he know America's going to get in it, which in return is going to if America get in it, it's going to kind of unfavor the president of America. And then Donald Trump, I feel like he's going to try to come in and be like, I'm the savior. Like I'm cool with these guys. I can talk and try to be the savior to get his second term of presidency.
Mm.
And I think that's the route that's going. I'm definitely a conspiracist, and I
That's
believe
a
in that
good theory,
shit.
though. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Because I was texting with Putin. I was texting with him, and I was like,
What he
"Yo, like,
said.
I was like, you like, I feel like you're doing the most. Like, damn, can you relax?"
Hmm.
And he was like, "Nah, cause motherfuckers got me fucked up. Like, I'm all about loyalty. I'm a pull up, and yeah, I think honestly, he's pulling up for DT for big DT.
I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. Who want to fight?
And people,
Yeah.
and it's not funny because like I feel like people are already playing into that hand because like on Instagram, everybody's like, oh, imagine voting for Biden and this is what you end up with. And already it's like starting to circulate that whole
Yeah.
thing of like, oh, when Trump wasn't president, this never happened and
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. But
The thing is that it never had nothing to do with that though. Like it never had nothing to do with Biden. Like Biden minding his own business in the White House, and they over here fighting. Like if your homegirl over here getting jumped, you of course you gonna jump in. Your homeboy over there getting jumped, you gonna be like, damn,
yeah,
we fuck with each other. Like we cool. Damn, I gotta go help them
yeah,
fight. And that's what like America, we gotta go help them fight.
Who the fuck is we? We the people of the United States?
period. I know that's right.
Mm.
I know that's right. If this was the Bad
So
Girls Club, if this was the Bad Girls Club,
this
we would be
Tanisha.
the yeah, yeah,
We'll be the
yeah.
Tanisha. We'll be
We
the
would be the
Tanisha
Tanisha.
of the fucking group. All right, so this week, Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez um just been getting into it online. Like everybody been getting in it. Academics been getting in it. You know, and I
The
think
scholars.
no academic, the guy DJ Academic.
I got to go. This is embarrassing.
Oh, I thought you meant like I thought you meant like scholars. Like
No,
they were
nigga.
having very riveting debates about what's going on.
Academic, the
He's
DJ.
such
Okay.
a bitch. Like he is such a bitch.
He
He
getting
is
all the
such a
female
fucking
drama. Like
bitch.
he argue with all the females, but then niggas he be like, shout out to this person, shout out to that person, shout out to
He's so
the other niggas.
pussy.
But he was basically he tried to go in on Meg talking about no evidence. I mean no DNA was found on the gun. And then somebody from Rolling Stones was in the courtroom and released some documents and it never said anything about the DNA. They said that the only thing that Tory Lane people said that they believed the DNA would come in his favor. And then out of that, I kind of feel like Tory Lane um, wanted to go to the media and prove his case to the media. So I think he wanted
Yeah.
to prove his case to the court of public opinion because like if he found guilty in the court, I mean that might be okay, but if people counsel him, that's gonna be even worse because like that's gonna fuck up his money. But then academics also got in it, but then academics deleted his tweet, and then what's her boyfriend name? Panda Prada, what's his name?
Party.
Party, okay, Party. He got in it too. And so Tori pull up, like we want up, get done up. So this shit's been a week of fighting. Like everybody want to fight each other.
So okay, so basically, let's use Ukraine and Russia as an
Mm-hmm.
analogy.
Okay,
So
okay.
Tory is who is Tory? Tory is Russia. Do
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
understand? Tory is Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and Meg is Ukraine,
Yeah, because she was just minding her business.
and Party is America.
Mm-hmm. Party of America. Yep.
Okay. Okay. And so basically, like Meg has whatever story she got that she got shot in her feet, right? Because this is what this whole thing is still about, right? That
Yeah.
Tory Lane
Yeah.
shot her in her feet.
Mm-hmm. He
Why
said
do you
Meg was
think?
Meg. He fucked her and her best friend.
And so she was mad, so she lied about getting shot in the feet. Because like I feel like if she was mad, you could come up with a better lie than that.
It's always a
Like
short nigga.
It's very specific too. Like I got shot
Mm-hmm.
in my feet. Like
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I believe Meg. Also, I just don't like
same,
Tory. So
same,
if you believe
same.
Tory, we're gonna have to wait till the court documents start to come out.
Imagine, no, imagine this is like another Jussie Smollett situation where like it
Oh,
turns out that it's true that like Meg lied about everything.
but Jesse's still holding on to that he didn't lie. Like he's Jesse Smollett still holding on to like I didn't
Oh,
lie, motherfuckers robbed me, and it is what it is, and it was what it was. You know, so Jesse's still on that shit. Like he didn't
that's
lie
a
shit.
mental disorder, I think, then at that point, because like, didn't they
Um,
get all the facts and
yeah, they definitely
okay,
got all the facts
whatever.
again. Yeah,
More power. No, whatever. Anyways, we'll just wait. The verdict is we're gonna wait for the verdict.
yeah. We gotta wait to
All
see if
right.
motherfuckers actually got
So
shot.
what else? So apparently, old ass Queen Elizabeth caught COVID and she's in self quarantine. And from what I remember reading, they was like, "Oh, she's in like stable condition. She's fine." She's just like, "What the fuck is gonna take this bitch out? Like, what is gonna do it? Like, what is gonna do it?"
At this point, I think she an Avenger. She old as fuck. Like, and she still want to be queen. Like,
She's like 122, bro. Like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
Oh my god. So I take my comment back from the Russia thing. She was the one that was. She was living in 1856, and
Oh.
she know
So she
firsthand
know
like
what's
who
really
stole the
going on.
land. She know
And
who
she
stole the
just
land when they stole it.
coincidentally caught COVID when all
Yep.
this shit was happening because she don't want people to come
She don't want.
asking her.
Yep. She
So
don't want to be
what really
involved.
happened?
Yep.
I don't fuck with these bitches. Do you? I don't. I
Not
ain't,
all of them.
yeah.
No, you can't.
I don't fuck with none. I don't
everybody. So
fuck
I
with
don't
none.
fuck with
I
all
don't
these
fuck.
bitches.
See, I don't fuck with none of them.
She don't want to be involved with
Wow.
her old ass. Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty sure she got like cataracts and shit. Like, what the like at some point, like you gotta like tell yourself, like, all right, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it because it's just not what you remember the episode of SpongeBob with the grandma who's in the
no, she
wheelchair.
said, like,
She's like old as fuck. She's literally just a skeleton at this point. Like, that's who she is.
I
That's who she
think
is.
for certain family members, like when you got family members like over the age of like 85, like let them just let their time just wind down. Like let they,
Bruh.
and it also bring up the topic. It'd be real sad when friends be like, "My grandma just died." You be like, "Oh my god, how old was she?" She was 97.
Bro, she's
She
95
lived a
years
great life.
old.
She lived a great life.
And then
How
she
old you want her to
canceled
be?
apparently she canceled her virtual meetings because she has a croaky voice. No, bitch, that's death. That's death.
Stop. That's
It's
old
not
age. That old
that's
age.
that is death, baby. It's time for you to pack it up and let it go. Like your husband already died. Pack it up. Well, your cousin, because I think they was cousins or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. More. You know what? I don't want to say more power because this bitch already got all the power. She don't die. So
More, I'm gonna say more power to you, Queen Elizabeth. Keep on riding in Jesus' name. Ride on.
she knew Jesus. That's the crazy thing.
They was best friends, and that's why he ain't taking her nowhere. He like, nah, I'm gonna keep my homegirl down there. All right. So in other news, Wendy Williams' show is coming to an end. She is being replaced by the Sherry Shepherd show. So is it her time, or is this just karma?
I feel like it could be a little bit of both. Like
Mm,
I feel like the show hasn't been what it used to be for a
hmm
little while. And then she's had a lot of fucking like controversies with people just not fucking with her on her show. Like she messy as fuck. And not messy in like a professional messy way, just like straight messy, you know?
I think she take the. I think she is evenly messy and fucking mean at the same time. Like I think it's like more
Mm,
mean than messy. Like because
yeah.
certain stuff she say, like you be like, well, you didn't need to say that. Like you need, but also look, she ain't been right ever since Tabitha Brown told her ass, "God bless you."
Okay, don't try to bring that to me and have a conversation. I don't want it.
Ever since Tabitha Brown was like, "God bless you, God bless you,"
Yeah.
that bitch been off her rocker. Like her ankles been even bigger than what they used to be. She got like elephantitis or some shit. She been in she been in the crazy house. Like Tabitha told her
Mm-mm.
ass, "God bless you," and
God bless
karma.
them.
God blessed her. Like, I don't
God
know.
bless her.
So,
I don't
but
like that
now,
shit. She's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just not. My thing is like you cannot, and this is why I always like appreciated like when people would come at her. Like you remember the Whitney Houston interview where Whitney tore her
mm-hmm.
ass up. Like I always loved when people would come at her because you can't be throwing stones from a glass house, baby. Like you sitting here basically, tearing down everybody's life, but your life is a hot mess. Like your man's is cheating on you. You out here taking drugs. You out here looking a hot ass fucking mess, and you got the
Yep.
nerve to be judging people. That's why, like, if I was on that show, it would have been my show. At the end
Yeah.
of the episode, it would be like, this is the Yesenia show because you're not gonna come at me all fucking sorts of crazy.
And
So
I'm gonna
shout out
keep
to
coming at
people,
you.
right?
You come
Like,
at me, I'm gonna throw something back at you. Like, oh, why your
right,
ankles so big? Like, I'll be throwing questions like that. Like,
yeah, like. So
make up like,
shout out to everybody who was able to like get through that, and shout out to Tabitha for being able to keep it. Because like, what did she even say about Tabitha? What was
she's
it that she was saying?
so she said like her because no, Tabitha got started to get more notoriety and famous off a lot of stuff that she was doing on
Yeah,
social media. So she started being well off and told her husband that he can retire his job. Remember,
right,
she wasn't working for all those years because her husband was being a police officer, so she could follow her career of being an actress. And then once her actress career and everything took off, she told her husband he can quit. One, because the police force was dangerous, and two, she said he been working all those years so she could be an actor, and then now that she an actor, why he still working? Because that was the goal,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so he helped her with her dream. Now he just relaxing, and so she was talking shit about that. And then Tabitha came on social media, was like, "God bless you, God bless you." So, moral of the story is like, when somebody talk about you, if you say "God bless you,"
He gonna take care of them. He gonna take care of them.
don't even let the haters hate. Just be like, "God bless you." God bless you, cause God really put the hands on Wendy. He grabbed her and was like, boop, 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 boop.
Just handled it and dotted his ass with one hand, held the shirt with the other, then switched hands and went to waddle on his ass.
Boop.
Child,
Now she's sitting down
child.
somewhere in a crazy home, in the corner somewhere, with elephant ankles.
What is it called? Elephantitis.
Yeah, she got elephantitis.
This is
Her
coming from the
ankles.
the doctor's office of Isaiah.
hmm Wendy has been diagnosed with elephantitis and crack bit syndrome. Yes, I got a question.
All right,
Before
what's
that,
up?
let's take a little drink. Take a drink. Take a drink.
Okay.
That was just a just because drink. All right. So, do you see color? Trick
I
question, bitch.
definitely, I know, the fuck out of here. No, I see color. I see it. I see it, and I see what I lack of it. I see it. I see it
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Like obviously today, the title of this podcast that we do is called Colorism, but make it funny. And so, the reason why we did it is because when this episode comes out, it's going to be Dominican Independence Day. Shout out to my Dominican. Shout out to Dominican Republic. I love my country. I love my people. Um, but we're talking about colorism because something that's very common in the Dominican community is like having Dominicans who really advertly and passionately like say that they're not black. And more so than that, like there's so much colorism in the Dominican community where like someone who's my skin color, when I go to DR, they literally call me rubia, and rubia means like blonde girl. They be like, "Oh, come here, rubia," and I'm sitting here like, what? Like, where the fuck am I
Word.
blonde? And so, like, over there, like, they see skin color like mine as, like, oh, very exotic, very beautiful. And anybody
Mm-hmm.
who's darker skin is, like, treated less than, which is a big reason why there's so much conflict with, like, Haiti and stuff like that.
And the ironic part,
So,
you guys, if you don't know geography, Haiti and Dominican Republic are on the same fucking island, y'all.
the
When I
same
say same
island.
island, I mean the same island. Like, only thing separating them is the fucking border. Like, the only thing separating them is a gate, basically. Like, on the
And it's not
same
even a
island.
border. It is not even a border. That shit is one gate, probably like one
Yeah,
fucking
like
gate.
a gate. like a gate with a little couple of holes in the bottom and stuff like that. That's the only thing that's separating Haiti
Yeah.
from Dominican Republic. So it's not no ocean, it's not no water. It's a
No.
gate. When you walk over the gate, one side you on Haiti. When you step your foot on the other side, you in DR. That's
I'm
the
talking
only
about
thing
like
separating them.
you could double dutch in both countries at the same time.
Dutch.
You can literally double dutch like
Right, and they don't think they're black, but Haitians
yeah.
are darker skinned, and
Yeah.
Dominican Republicans are lighter skinned people. So when people say, I'm glad you say I'm glad you say you do see color because when people say they don't see color, I'm like, bitch, you lying. Like I hate. I think I've said this before. When white people say I don't see color, because that means you just ignorant. That means you just ignoring everything that's going. Because America was built on colorism. America was built
Mhm.
on it. America was built on I'm better than you because
Literally.
of the color of my skin. That was
Literally.
race.
Literally.
Race is a pillar of America. Like
Yeah.
and it's no way around that. So when some of these
Yeah.
white people be like, I don't see color. I don't care if you're black, blue, orange,
Purple.
yellow.
They love
Bitch,
themselves some purple and green.
when you ever seen an orange person, bitch? Like when you ever seen a
What
yellow
Donald?
person?
Donald. Hold
Okay,
on. I
Donald.
seen orange.
Well, when you ever seen a purple person? Fuck you talking about a green person? When
I
you ever
hate
seen a
that
green person?
shit. I hate
I'll be
that shit so
like, shut the
bad.
fuck up, you that
I be trying to
that's
tell
so
them.
racist. When I hear that shit, I'm like, you racist.
I be trying to
You
tell them, like, baby, that is not a flex. Like, you not seeing color is not a fucking flex. Like, no, it's not what you, it's not giving what you think it's giving.
right, like it's
It's
more
really not.
alarming than it is helpful when you say that shit. Like I don't see color. I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, you racist. Like whatever they said
Cause,
you did
yeah.
that shit.
You trying
You
to
racist.
pretend that everything is okay then, that there's no circumstances that separate us because of the color of our skin. And I think,
Hmm.
like you said, like literally that's a pillar of how America was built because when slavery happened, slavery was a result of classism, right? The need and greed to get money. And so when they were trying to figure out like how to acquire free labor, they had to figure out like what differences they could use as justification for like why one group would do something and another group wouldn't. And the biggest, most clearest difference was skin color. So that's the only reason why dark skin became like dark skin people, black people became slaves was because this is the only justification we have for you to be treated like animals and for you to do free labor and
Hmm.
us not to do it. And what's really crazy to me is like when you think about it, it could have so easily gone the other way, right?
Hmm.
Like it could have very easily been like, oh, what if it was black people that were like, okay, you're going to do the free labor because you're white and you're pale, like imagine that. So,
And what I want us to realize is that the people who thought of this are European people. They started in Europe. So Queen Elizabeth, she was one of the
she
bitches
was
because
there.
she was there, right? It was 18, it was around that time. She was there. She
Yep.
was there. They the ones that thought like, hey, these people are different skin color than us. Let's make them a profit.
Yeah.
Let's make money off of them,
Yeah.
and because of that, it started the need of colorism, which
Right.
has in return been a generational trauma piece for people of color ever since this
Yeah.
it's been a generational trauma thing. So my
Yeah.
question to you, SC, is when was the first time you became acutely aware of your skin color, and what was the effects of it?
So I want to say that the first time that I really was like like aware of like, oh, I get treated better because of the color of my skin was when I got to college. Because throughout the time that I was in high school, like all of my friends were darker skinned than me. And it
Hmm.
was always like, they were my friends and we was chilling, we was fine. And within our own group, like I was oblivious to any experiences that they had outside of our own little group. So then when I got to college and I took my diversity class and I started realizing like, oh shit, like there's a lot of shit my friends have gone through that I will never go through. That was the first time that I really was like, oh, bitch, you got some privilege and you need to unpack what the fuck that means. And,
Hmm.
you know, so that was the first time for me. What about for you?
I don't know. I think it'll definitely be high school. Just when people start going to a certain age of liking girls or liking boys, whatever their preference is. And some people, like some friends I had, used to be like, I only like light skinned girls or I only like light skinned boys. And I used to be sitting back like, wow, my preference is dark as a darker skinned person, but that's
Yeah.
just my preference. But also,
Right.
um, when people used to say that, like I used to be like, why? But then you would see the light skinned person and you would look at them and like the only thing good about them, not even good. See, look, that's my trauma thinking.
See?
But
Yeah.
like the only thing you see is that you're light skinned, like because light skinned people are ugly. Let's just
Yeah.
start there, y'all. Because
Bitch, like you that girl. You not fab like you not fab like that to be doing all of that.
a lot of niggas
Because
be thinking like they just because they girl light skinned, she pretty, but that bitch be ugly. Like
she
bitches
looked
be
like a horse. She looked like a horse,
she
a
look
light
like Miss
skinned horse,
Piggy.
but a
She look
horse
like Miss
nonetheless.
Piggy.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy. Bitches be walking around
Yeah.
looking like Miss Piggy. They be like, this my bitch. And then I be like, ugh, I only date light skinned bitches. You be like,
Bro.
mm,
You remember, like at the peak, like a few years ago, there was like this whole thing on Instagram where like it was like, oh, light skinned girls don't got feelings. Like, and I remember like I played into that at some point where I was
mm-hmm,
like, oh, like light skinned girl. And now I think about that and I cringe because I'm sitting here like, not me really thinking that being light skinned was like a credential.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
bitch,
So
are you
so
stupid?
my question to that is, do you think the hip hop industry or social media is to blame for some of the colorism that we're seeing today?
Oh, absolutely. Because, okay, I feel like a lot of this whole thing about preferences, first of all, a lot of the preferences that people have are not preferences, they are
Mm-hmm.
internalized self-hatred.
Yep.
Okay, let's start there. Let's fucking start there. Because I hate when people try to be like, they try to play things off as preference and it's not. And so I feel like if you take a look at like the hip hop industry, the basketball industry, these are all industries that are dominated primarily by black men. So naturally, people of color, black people are going to gravitate to those fields because they feel a connection. So then when you gravitate to those fields and you see all of these hip hop artists, all of these sports players, and they're all consistently with light skinned women or white women, that fucking tells you, like, whether you want to or not, and this is a big key, like, whether
Subconsciously.
you want to or not, you're gonna start thinking to yourself, oh, success means being with somebody lighter than me. When I make it, I need to be with someone. And then I hate when people try to act like, oh no, that's not the case for me. And it's like nobody's saying that you do shit consciously. Like, I want people to understand how the subconscious works. The subconscious works in ways that you are not aware of it, even like doing things. You're not aware of your thoughts changing. You're not aware of like, oh, I'm actually leaning a little bit more towards this. You're not aware of those things. And so, yeah, I feel like in a way, these industries like are to blame because these men who are given prominent platforms have their own internalized self-hatred and they end up choosing women who are lighter than them or who are white women. And my biggest thing is that it's okay to love whoever you love. It's okay to have preferences, but when your preference is a result of demonizing and looking down on darker skinned women, then that's not a preference.
That's a
That's not a preference.
requirement.
That's a requirement.
Girl, I need to hit that repeat. Yes, honey.
And that's and
Period.
that's and I think that's what we get confused at. Like it's between like people like, oh, I prefer this, but like sometimes with preferences, you don't even got to speak it out loud. Like you just do it. Like it's just something you prefer. But when you start speaking it out loud, I think that's what take it into a requirement. Like oh, because I got a lot of male friends who a couple that be like, well, I only date light skinned girls and I only date girls like this, and that's okay if that's your preference, you know.
Yeah.
But what makes it worse, like you said, is when you start putting other people down for something that you prefer. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you dated this person, damn, she kind of dark, you know. Like when you start putting other people down off your preference, then that is what turns it
Baby
to damn.
blockers.
But put your
Seriously.
time. I hate you. You get
It's
what
okay. I'm
I
on my week off. It's okay. It's okay.
mean. Okay, so that's what makes you I didn't forgot what I said because that damn thing, the baby blocker thing, I forgot my point. Like it was real good too. Like it was in
No,
my
no,
head,
you
it
were
was real good.
talking, you were
Okay,
talking about
that's what
preference.
make it. That's what make it okay. So what changes a preference to colorism is when you start to put other people down. So let's say
Yeah.
your preference is lighter skinned girls. Okay, have that preference, keep it to yourself. But if you don't, and then start putting darker skinned females down because of the way they look, then that change it to colorism. Because a lot of people be
Yeah.
like, I don't what how I'm colorism. Like a lot of my friends be like, how I'm colorism because you put down dark skinned girls every day.
Yeah.
But a lot of times these darker skinned females look way better than these light skinned
Way fucking
girls. Like
better.
way
And
better. Like
And you know what's crazy? Like jumping off of what you're saying, Zay, it's like you ask somebody, well, like, what do you like about about light skinned women? And all they give you is what they don't like about darker skinned women. That's how you know you're not in the preference stage. Because if I ask you, okay, why do you like light skinned women? If your first response is to be like, oh, because dark skinned girls are loud, dark skinned girls are this, I already know that's not a preference. That's not a
yeah.
preference. You're making a decision based on your hatred for a certain group of people. And that's why for me, like the two boyfriends that I've ever had, and really like all the guys that I've been attracted to have always been darker skinned black men. And I'm not fucking kidding with you. Like the first thing I say to them, I'll be asking them, I'll be like, what's your type? I'd be like, what's your type? Because what you're not gonna do is that you're not gonna use me as like a, oh, I like
Light
you
skinned
because I
pawn.
don't like dark. No, because that's not what we're gonna. I'm gonna leave your ass right where I found you, right where the fuck I found you. And so like I be challenging the people that I be with. I be like, okay, well, why do you like me versus not liking somebody else? Like, and I feel like sometimes light skinned women, we play into the whole colorism thing because we don't ask those questions. We like to pretend like, oh my God, he likes me. That's great. No. Like, why would you be with a man who looks down on other women, who looks down on women who probably look exactly like their own mother looks? Like,
Speaking of that, this brings me to those two podcasters who were saying like, "Oh, I don't like Laquitas and Laquishas," and so they saying they only like a light. They preference is lighter skinned girls, and they don't like Laquitas and Laquishas. When in return, one of them is dark as fuck. Like both of them dark as fuck. So let's just start there. Like, and then so just imagine their mom is that same skin color. So you saying you don't like your mom? They like, no, it's different. It's different. I'm not attracted to Laquitas and all that other shit. And I just want to say, like, darker skinned girls don't have ghetto names. I met this light skinned girl. Her fucking name, and I fuck with you, Love. Her name was Love Quanda. She the lightest girl you ever seen. Her name was Love Quanda. Like, and like,
yeah.
I fuck with her though. That's my friend. So if you're watching this, I fuck with you, Love. But also, like, it's not like names don't equate to skin tone. So for them to say that was like it was like levels to
And
their racism, like their self
yeah.
hatred, like
And
the
you know what's
name on
crazy?
top of the color.
You know what's crazy? Like I used to be like that because like I used to be ignorant and be like, oh, like all of these ghetto names go to. There used to be like a YouTube video a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago that was like doing it. It was really famous and it was like I used to kiki at it. And I try not to be hard on myself because at that point I was ignorant. I didn't know any better. And that's what I'm trying to say with all of this. Like it's okay to be ignorant, but at a certain point when you know better, you have to do better. So like now I'm in a stage where it's like that shit is not fucking cool. Like I'm not in a position where like it doesn't make me feel good that you chose me because I'm light skinned. Like, are you stupid? Like, and the thing with being light skinned, especially like I guess like my kind of color, because I think it's worth it to be specific in terms of like there are light skinned women that you can tell though are either Caribbean or they're like they have some kind of like African you know, you could tell that they're people of color, but they're lighter skin. Baby, the only reason why you're light skinned is because someone in your lineage got raped by probably a white headmaster, a white
Mm-hmm.
slave
Mm-hmm.
master.
So it's,
That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
so that takes us to our next topic of generational trauma. How this colorism is definitely a source of generational trauma, because let's go all the way back to slavery when they thought of the idea of Jim Crow. And the sole purpose of Jim Crow was to divide the black race.
I don't know why I'm
and
smiling. It's not funny. I'm just a little drunk.
but make it funny. But make it funny. Their whole purpose was to divide the black race, and one thing that they used to divide us was the color of our skin. So
Yeah.
if you were lighter than a paper bag, you will be inside the house. If you were darker than a paper bag, you will be inside the field, which in return made us have this self hate on ourselves and our people.
Yeah,
So
because
let me tell you something
you
how
envy the people in the house. You
because they
envy
got
the
treated
house
better.
niggers.
They got
Yeah,
treated
you.
better.
Mhm.
They got clothes. They got to eat the leftover good food. Like
Even
while
though,
y'all,
but this is what I be trying to. This is what blows my mind. Like I don't know if it's like this for you, Zay, but like I be having moments when I think to myself, like, this is really where the crabs in a barrel mentality comes from because you're sitting
hmm
here envying another slave. Like, they're still a slave. They still have no type of freedom or autonomy over their body, over where they go, over what they do. But you envy them because at least they're not getting treated as bad as you are out in the fields. And
hmm
that is why, like, this has long been the strategy of white people. This is how they know that they
and they
never have to
evil.
worry about the black community. It's because they know we're gonna tear ourselves apart on our own because that's the structure that they built from all the way back
Yes,
then.
yes, and
And
that's
that has nothing to do with color. That's just genuinely, like, literally, that's the way that war works. Like, that's the way that war works. Like, if you look at like strategies that like lieutenants and all these people use when they're at war, that's the first thing that they do. They like, how can we disassemble something internally? What can we do to set like make them fight themselves so that they don't notice us fighting them?
hmm so a house divided could never stand, and that was from Abraham Lincoln, even though he was a white man that freed the slaves. But let's not get on to the fact that he owned the slaves. He only freed the slaves because he wanted to get back at the people, the Confederate people. So he only freed the slave as like as a deploy of I can do whatever I want to because I'm president. So let's start there.
First of all, fuck
But
Abraham and fuck Lincoln together. Abraham Lincoln.
fucking together. Right. So just how you saying like this is definitely a tool of generational trauma. We could talk about a lot dealing with colorism in the slave community, in the enslaved people. Let's start there. Let's call them enslaved people because when they took them, they were chiefs and wives and mothers. They were never slaves. They were people that came up here that were enslaved.
Look at my
Um,
titties.
I hate them. They're ugly.
you you remember when we used to live together and I used to be like, oh my God, stop, I'm not wearing. You used to be like,
Right. Y'all, okay, we used to live together. And yes, he used to be like, I'm like, we used to be in the kitchen, and I'm like, come sit down here. And she'd come down there. She'd be like, I'm not wearing a bra or nothing. I'm like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Girl, you're not my type. Sorry.
Why? Because I'm light
Sorry.
skinned?
Yes. That leads me to that's exactly why, because you fucking light skin. So that leads me to the next topic. White people are evil. Um, No, like y'all, for real. Like I'm like sometimes I'll be like, I like some white people, but like to think of the shit that they thought of to be evil, like the level of evil they thought of, like I'll be like, it'd be like movies I watch now that once the movie over, I just don't like white people after like you gotta catch me like 3 days after the movie because I just don't like you. Like to think like
Yeah,
to separate people based on their color to make them not even notice all the shit you doing to them because y'all put them against each other, right? And then to also think about how they use Christianity as a later episode of But Make It Funny, how they use Christianity as a manipulation tool. It's like,
yeah,
whoa, like they really sat down and thought of all this evil shit to
yeah.
do to people of color. And just to think that they were hanging people and it'd be crowds of 20,000 people out there
Like
celebrating somebody black
cheering.
cheering to get hung. And
I swear to
this is
God.
going to air on
Listen,
the last episode of Black History Month.
God knows, like God knows why he don't give power to certain people. Because if God gave me any kind of power, like I swear to God, I'm getting back at every motherfucking white person. Oh my God. Like I am not
Reparations,
mature. I am not mature
reparations.
enough to be like, oh, it's okay. Y'all are not y'all ancestors. I don't give a fuck. I don't give
We
a
are not
fuck.
though. We're not like Martin Luther King group was like turn out the tree cheek. I think our group of our generation is definitely Malcolm X. Like, cause I've
No,
been
but
seeing hella people calling people nigga and getting beat the
no,
fuck
but
up.
I'm talking about how
Karens
white
beat the fuck
people be
up.
like, oh, but I'm not my ancestor. Like, I didn't own slaves. I don't give a fuck, Beatrice. Fuck you and your dusty ass daughter. Fuck
Right?
y'all. Carry my
Yeah,
books. Carry
yeah.
my books to fucking class, bitch. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm an ally. Be like, I
Fuck
appreciate
you,
that, but
bitch.
still, fuck you, bitch. Fuck your grandma, cause she wasn't an ally with her ugly ass.
You know what's
'Cause-
crazy? I was talking to my friend, my best friend from high school, and we was to just, I don't know how the conversation
I'm
got there,
sorry, y'all.
but
I'm still pouring a drink.
it got there and we was just sitting like she said something that really impacted me. She was like, I already met all the white people I will ever like. She was like, I don't got no room for nobody else. She's like, I already met all the white people that I will ever like. I don't like nobody else.
I don't fuck with you, little hoe. I never did fuck with you, little hoe. Yeah, cause I'm a bad bitch and I keep it real. And I keep it real with you, little hoe.
And same facts felt like no, not interested.
I just want white people to know, like, I'll be fake with y'all. Like I'm like, but like really, I don't like y'all.
I don't trust
I got a
y'all.
couple of white friends, but also I just think like it's inherent. Y'all generational trauma is that y'all are 100% selfish. Like if it's gonna benefit you, like
Yeah.
y'all gonna go after it. All right, so this leads me to the next topic. Are we progressing or are we ignoring the colorism topic? Oh, also, no. Before we go to the next topic, I just wanted to say the one time that I can give African Americans credit is that during quarantine, when the George Floyd situation happened, and we all came together as one, like all colors, everybody, we came together as one and made a change. Like even if people was like they was rioting, I don't give a fuck because we felt like we was unheard and we had to riot at that moment
Mm.
so y'all could really see. Like I felt like that was the only time that I witnessed in my life that we came together. Like I seen everybody together, busting down a window to get TVs. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
You
The
go rob
white,
that PC Richard and
yes, I
Sons.
was clapping
Fuck
them the
that
fuck on.
company.
I was clapping them on. Like I was on. I was watching. Like and then the white people's like, I can't believe you're doing this. Not even that, but like also I got offended by some of my friends that was like, look at what we out here doing. This is not how you get hurt. Well, how do we get hurt? Because we didn't try everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't try everything. So now it's time to tell this bitch down. Like we want our shit about just how we built America brick by brick. We gonna tear this bitch down. And I was so appreciative of all the African Americans
Yeah.
and the people of color who all came together in the wake of what happened to George Floyd and fucking did what they had to do. Like they did what they had to
Yeah.
do. Like I still
Facts.
support it to this day. Like if they do it again, I'm gonna still stay in my house though, because I'm scary. Like I'm scary. Like
I won't be
and
there,
I
but I
got bad luck.
support.
I got bad luck. Like I feel like I grab a TV and as soon as I walk out the store, the police gonna be right there. I'm like, damn. Like yeah,
Right.
like I'm that motherfucker. Like I got bad luck and I'm scary. So I support y'all. I'm gonna clap y'all the fuck on. But so back to our next topic. Are we progressing or are we ignoring the colorism topic?
I feel
I
like
hate that hand.
both.
I just hate what you just did with you when you did this.
I feel
And that's
like
why I hate light skinned people. They do shit like that. She said,
please, please do not let me be your model of light skinned people because I'm the best of the light skins. Okay, I'm about as good as it gets because I recognize my privilege. These other motherfuckers, they not there
yes.
yet. They not there yet.
No, they
Um,
recognize it, but they lean into it though. Like they
yeah,
recognize it and they play into it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
all right.
You know what's really crazy though? Like this is a little bit of a sidebar, but
Mhm.
when I was growing up, like I said, all of my friends were darker skinned than me. Even to this day, all of my friends are darker than me.
Mhm.
And there is a part of me that now is thinking like, I grew up with a mom and a dad who, both Dominican, both raised in the Dominican Republic. My mom is lighter than me. My dad is darker than me. And they had their views on like darker skinned black people. And my dad was a taxi driver and he had a lot of instances like, where he was like gypped and shit, where people wouldn't pay. And basically he used that as like a whole thing to like oh my God, this is why I fucking hate driving black, darker skinned black people around because they're always gonna
Mm-hmm.
rob me, they're always gonna do this. And I used to be like, that's what we're not gonna do. So now I wonder in my own way, like, was me seeking out darker skinned people like a way of rebellion? Was I like trying to rebel against my parents? And that's something that I've never considered because these are just like my best friends.
Trauma response.
Trauma response. But like I never thought of it before because these are like my genuine friends that who I like love, and I just always gravitated towards them. But now I can't help but think like, oh my God, was that like a way of me trying to like say like, oh, I'm not my parents, like look at me, like I'm okay
Hmm.
with darker skinned people. So that's something to unpack. But anyways, I think it could be both. I think that we are getting a little bit better where we're promoting black love, like darker skin black love a lot more. But at the same time, I still feel like we're ignoring it because people get so fucking defensive when you say something about it. And I don't know fucking why. Like, why are you getting defensive? Because if your intentions really weren't like that, you wouldn't get offended. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So, like, I feel like
I
you're telling on yourself.
Yeah, and I also don't like the people that be like, "Oh, it's always something." Like it's all y'all always think it like, but it be like, "No, like wake the fuck up!" Like this is like like this is. See, I kind of feel like I with my friends they be laughing at me because I always feel like I'm woke. Like I always feel like I now that like I came out as homosexual as well as being a black
You
male.
came out?
Yeah, girl, I'm gay.
The only thing I'm addicted to is shaking his ass. Please, let me do my thing.
You're gay?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't want to do
Hmm.
this podcast anymore.
Right. Right. Homophobia, that's another one. But now that, like people, I be feeling like I'm real woke on situations. Like I'll be addressing my friends, like, I don't think you should say that. I don't think you should do this. I don't think you
You
should
be in
do
the
that.
parties, you be in the parties talking about reparations.
Or right, I'll be the one that question, like, see what we need is reparations, my brother. We need that. Like that be me now. Now that's me. Like it's so hard to go back to sleep after you've been woke. Like I, like I'll be trying to like sometimes shit, people be doing shit. I'm like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. But then my mom be like, say something. And I have to go say something about like this shit. Like, did you just notice what you did? Like, okay, yeah.
Ooh, prepare to be sick of me. Prepare right now to be sick of me.
I don't want to be that person, y'all. But also like being consciously woke is definitely to be enraged every day. Like which is my favorite quote from James Baldwin. Because there's a lot of unconscious biases that I feel like we have, especially in the educational system, with kids of color, and I think we're progressing, but at a slower pace than I want us to. But I'm definitely
Yeah.
glad that we are progressing and moving forward. But in some instances, we do ignore colorism because I got kids in my classroom that be like, I like this and I like that and I like this and I got teachers that be like that embrace that. Like they be like, well, that's just how they is. And I'm like, no, like we teachers, like we're here to teach them. So even if it's not about education, wake them up about that. Like now, like is this a preference or is this a requirement? Why are you laughing?
I'm
What?
crying.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up.
I know you're not crying.
I'm
I know you're not
crying
crying.
because Stop. This is not funny.
Okay,
This is not
okay.
funny. Like I don't want kids to grow up like that. Like I want them
Yeah,
because like you understand, like after a while you start understanding that like the kids who are darker skin are usually the ones who prefer lighter skin people. And so you think to yourself, like,
yes.
damn, like how do you see yourself? Like, how do you see
Hmm.
yourself then? Like, and I don't want that. Like I don't want that. But like also I'm like drunk. like
I can't believe you crying. This is why I told you to eat
no.
something before we start drinking. Okay, that's a drunk cry. Everybody got that. Everybody's gonna have their cry this season.
No,
Mine's
no, but
mine's
for
definitely probably
real.
be the grief episode will probably be my episode of
Yeah.
crying. But
Wait, can
everybody got
I
their
can I tell you
moments.
about something? Can I tell you about an
Yes.
experience that I had? So I had experience and an experience. I had a conversation. I had a conversation with one of our friends. Like you're friends with her too. She's my best
Hmm.
friend from college, and she gonna know who she is. I don't want to say her name, but she gonna know who she
Yeah,
is.
she knows she is.
And we were having a conversation one time because we had a misunderstanding where she felt like I changed as a person because I wasn't speaking up about things like how I used to.
Hmm.
And what I told her was that one, I realized that speaking up about shit on Instagram, I was saying the same thing to people who already believed what I believed. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't saying anything to nobody who didn't believe what I believed. So it was pointless. You know what I mean? I was more focused on having conversations with people who didn't think the way that I thought. So excuse me, I was having like conversations physically with people who had different ideologies, which was why I wasn't like putting stuff on Instagram and stuff that much about George Floyd and all that stuff. And then I told her, I was like, another reason was because like I started to realize, like, okay, I'm a light skinned woman. Like, why would I be the one always talking about something? And she brought up a good point. She was like, well, as a light skinned woman, like you have the privilege that people will hear you out more than they would a darker skinned woman. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, that is a good point. But then at the same time, I was struggling with, I don't want to overtake a narrative that I don't experience. And that's what I told her. I was like, what do I look like talking about, like, oh my goodness, police brutality, when I know my skin color affords me a certain type of treatment that my other friends will not get because they're darker than me? You know what I
I
mean?
Yeah, but I think like we need to all put ourselves in the same narrative because you consider yourself black. You're a person of color, a black person, and I think if we all put our shoes in the darker skinned black person, and we start
What?
speaking about
We got
put
to put
our
our whole shoes in them? That's what we got to do?
That's why I was like, I hope nobody catch I said shoes in my head. I'm like, did I just say shoes? Now I can't even get out my serious topic. So y'all play too much here. Y'all play too much. Okay, cousins, let's get back serious. Okay. All right.
Stop playing. This is a serious matter. This
All
is
right.
a
Okay.
serious
Oh,
matter.
it definitely is. It definitely is. And we are talking to the people in the spaces that we need to talk to have the conversations in with the people we have. We just bring this podcast to you to just bring some light to situations as well as bringing joy to them. Like we can't always be sad, y'all. We can't always be crying about stuff. Sometimes you gotta laugh some stuff off. But if we all put ourselves in the shoes of a black person, in a darker skinned black person, and just fight for that right, I think that we all will be in a better place in just in America.
Absolutely.
Period. So
Absolutely.
moving on to the next topic. So here are 5 questions about colorism that helps you think deeper. And we do not have to. You do not have to answer these questions. Me and Yessie won't answer these questions, but we're just gonna
We
give
can
you the.
maybe we can answer one and
Okay.
then we'll leave all the others for them to think about. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So in your own time, which if you're watching this, because I know I got a best friend who always watch this with his fiance. Thank you guys for watching, and shout out to them and their baby
Shout
boy.
out to, oh my
Shout
God.
out to
Like
them and their baby
what?
boy. Like
Stop. I'm
I'm
gonna start
so
crying again.
excited.
What the
Don't
fuck?
start crying. Don't start crying. She's about to
Stop.
cry. I
That's
am so excited. I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited to
wait,
be part of their village.
a little caveat. Like when we talk
Hmm.
about black love, I'm talking about black love, like a dark-skinned
Hmm.
black man who chose a darker skinned black woman. Yes, we love that. We praise that. I love that.
Hmm. And they're gonna
And
have
then
a
we
little
having a
dark skin
baby.
baby.
Okay.
I can't wait to meet my nephew. I
We
cannot
are
wait.
professionals.
Yeah, I'm ready. Damn, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, get it together. Get it together.
Barely.
All right,
Okay.
so here are the 5 questions to think about to help you think a little deeper about colorism. You could write these down, think about it with yourself to really see like, am I colorist? Like, do I have some of these characteristics? So, question number 1 is, why do I have a positive slash negative attitude about dark skin? Question number 2, why do I have a positive or negative attitude about light skin?
Mm.
Number 3. How did my attitude about skin tone develop throughout my life, particularly my childhood? Number four, how has my attitude about skin tone manifested in my words and actions, or the absence of my words and actions? That's a good one. And question number five, how does my reflection of this issue matter? How will understanding my attitude about skin tone change things personally or communally? Did you get the questions? Because I feel like you lost. Like I feel like you just sit right there. Like,
Nah, because my
what was
tax guy
question?
just hit me up and he said my tax refund hit. So that's why I'm crying.
You rich. You
That's why
rich.
I'm crying.
Louis Prada Gucci, Louis Prada Gucci. Pop them tags, pop them tags. I know some high class.
But
You
nah,
be
all jokes
crying the whole
aside.
episode. Let's do it.
All jokes
Let's
aside.
do question number four. Let's answer question number
All
four.
right.
How has my attitude about skin tone manifested in my words or action, or the absence of the words and actions?
Oh man, I want to say like when I was younger, when I was in middle school and high school. So my middle school was my high school. Like we grew together. So the people
Hmm.
that I was in sixth grade with was the people I was with all the way through 12th grade. And I remember like sometimes I would say fucked up shit. Like I would like refer to darker skinned people like, oh, she burnt. Oh, oh my God. Like the present me cannot fucking believe that I used to say things like that. But then, I'm also aware that at that point I was ignorant and I was very susceptible to like how I was being, socialized. But I'm just really happy that like I learned from my mistakes and I learned from my ignorance and I didn't remain ignorant. Like I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest thing. Like after an episode like this, if you choose to still remain ignorant about shit and if you still choose to not challenge yourself, like I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like I don't know what to fucking tell you because at that point like you're the problem. And it's okay if before you didn't know better, but like now you do know better. So how are you gonna go out of your way? And so now, as like current Yassi, what I try to do my best of is like knowing when to shut the fuck up. Like literally, like knowing when certain things are not my battles to fight or talk about because they don't affect me the way that they affect my friends. And so
Hmm.
what I like to do is that because of my light skin, like I might have a privilege of a platform. So I just want to give my friends that platform and then I want them to say what they have to say. So that's what I try to do now, like at least as much as I can.
So, my attitude about skin tone manifested in my words and actions because I was a jokester. I have always been a jokester. So in like middle school and shit like that, like I used to be the one to talk about motherfucker like, girl, yo burnt ass, you burnt biscuit. I used to love to call bitches burnt biscuits. That was just the way I used to, even light skinned girls. I used to be like, yo, pale ass, you albino as fuck. That's how I used to use colorism, like in my jokes.
Yeah.
Um, but I think as the older I got, and then going to HBCU, it really woke up the African American person in me. Like it really woke up the black, like power to the people. My brother, like I want to have an afro with a pick in it so bad. I want to I want to walk around like this so bad. So it really woke that up. So now I feel like in situations where um when I'm teaching and my kids manifest some of their colorism in the way that they talk about stuff, or even in the way that I see that they're treating a lighter skinned student over a darker skinned student, I feel like I address it. I feel like it's no absence in my actions. Like I address it right there and there. Like why y'all treating them like this? Because and then I
Yeah.
feel like it sparks a conversation with the kids and they see it in a different way. Just because they look at what what the kids have we don't have is social media, so everything is in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
Every single thing they
Yeah.
want is in their phone, in the palms of their hand. And a lot of times we see hip-hop artists, I don't like this person, or I only date this race, I only date people like this, or not even they're saying it just to
Yeah.
see like them always going out with a certain skin tone of people. Not to mention that all
Hmm.
Nick Cannon baby mamas are light skinned. We're just throwing that out there. So when they get to
And this
seeing
is a
stuff,
man. This is a man who literally preaches all about like the black culture and black community and black everything.
and all his baby mamas light skin. So
And like how what sorry to interrupt, but
No, go.
what I was gonna say was that like we have to understand that okay, well we're not trying to come at light skinned people. Okay, we are, but like what we're trying to say is that you being light skinned doesn't invalidate your experience as a black person, but you need to understand and acknowledge that your experiences will never be as bad as that of someone who's darker skinned. It will never be to that level of intensity. And it doesn't take anything away from you to acknowledge that. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like to do that. Like they feel like, oh, if I admit to this, then all of a sudden, like, oh, my pain doesn't matter, my whatever doesn't matter. That's not what nobody is saying. No one is saying that. Your pain is still going to be valid. Your situations, your experiences will still be valid. It's just understanding that sometimes there's people in the world who have things a little bit worse off than us. And it is our job to make sure that we can alleviate some of that fucking load. And it's literally just about being selfless. Like it, I don't know. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say?
I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying about because there are some people who get offended when people talking about their pain as she pours another drink. There are definitely
Mind your business. You being
oh my
mad
bad.
loud for no reason.
My bad, my bad, my bad. There are some people who get offended when people are talking about their pain because they feel like their pain isn't being addressed. But it's like our pains for this topic are on different levels. Like you like on level 2, I'm on like on level 7 of pain for something like this. And
I'm sorry, I was texting my tax
no,
guy.
no, no.
I was texting my tax guy.
I can't stand you. I really can't. Like I really,
Oh, let me tell you, everybody, follow at Stamps and Budgets on Instagram. Your girl is all about personal finance. She's all about traveling the world. All right, excuse me. Back to it.
yes. I'm gonna hit you up about a trip that we planning. All right, y'all. So to finish off the question, which I think I finished it, but like on another rant, like this is my thing about rants that I can't control. Like when I rant, like if I rant about one topic, like I'm just gonna skip to another topic and rant about that. Then I'm gonna skip to another rant about that one. But then the actual topic that I was supposed to rant about, I'll forget it. And that's what happened today in this conversation. I actually forgot like the answer to the question, but the way how my attitude about skin tone manifested in my words and action is that like I really try to be the person I talk to be, especially with my kids. So, with that being said, thank you guys. Pause. Oh, she is ready for this money. She is ready. It's money upstairs.
Okay.
All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for rocking with us this episode. Make sure you tune in for the date. Make sure you tune in.
You don't even know. You see, you talking shit. You don't even know when it really is.
Make sure you tune
The
in
next date is March 5th. No, the next date is March 12th.
for our next episode. And here's something to think about.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. Okay. So,
Hits blunt.
what I want us to think about,
Hmm.
if a blind person has a dream, do they see the dream?
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.
And with that, we bid you farewell.